Today is actually Insta Tuesday, so time lapse is going to be on Thursdays from now on, I think. Although I do love doing time lapse on Tuesdays. So I'm just going to get the stuff out, and then I'm going to play with it. And if you guys tell me to do something, I'll do it, and we'll go from there. I'm just kind of trying out some different types of paper. I have Distress watercolor cardstock, which is kind of textured on one side and smooth on the other. This is Tim Holtz. And then I have a Ranger white heavy stock, which is alterable extra heavyweight white surface. And also Distress Tim Holtz, which seems like it's appropriate since we'll be using Distress oxide and spray and paint, and I have to actually open some of this, so that's fun. And we will play and see where we get. And I'm going to definitely set myself a timer. I think I'm going to do one for 30 minutes or 15, and then in 15 I'm sure I'll just ignore it, and then I'll go on again and do another 15. So all right, so we've got some embossing glaze, which I love playing with this. Now oh, no sound. Why is there no sound? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Talk. Why would there be no sound? Okay. CM Wallen, can you hear me? Sylvan, can you hear me? Okay, good. Maybe CM Wallen needs to turn their phone up or their device up. All right. So when I play with my tools, I actually, okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me now. Okay. I feel like the guy on the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? I haven't changed anything, so I don't exactly know what would be causing the problem. All right. Okay, I'm sorry I'm taking forever. I'm trying to open my embossing glaze. All right, so have you guys ever played with embossing glaze? I'm not much for embossing, but I find that because it's called embossing glaze and it's a Distress product, that I feel a lot more willing to use the Distress embossing product. Now, I don't think it's actually, I'm trying to find my embossing ink pad. I found my pen last week and I thought I'd put it over here so I could get to it easier. Of course, you know me, do you know me? Do you know that I actually don't know where everything is all the time? Darn it. I put it someplace special last week thinking I would definitely want to be able to get to it, and now, oh, I know where it is. Yay, I just found it. That's what happens when you reorganize. It's up here. Okay. So there's actually Distress embossing ink. I haven't bought any of it for myself, but I find that I think it could be helpful. It's supposed to be used with the embossing glaze, apparently. It might just be something that they said, well, we're going to just make ourselves an embossing glaze or an embossing ink, and that's what we're going to use. But, okay. So I find that embossing tends to be very messy. And so to get around the messiness of embossing, which I like messy, but I don't like, I'm not very good with messy powder. Like, I like messy paint or ink or something like that, or like matte medium like that. It dries and I'm good. It's not like there's stuff everywhere. So, but this is what I've heard you can do is get it's actually a giant coffee filter. This is like, I don't know, my friend talked me into buying this to make iced coffee. They're these giant cones. They come in a box. I bought a box of 50 of them to make iced coffee. I made iced coffee once, and then I decided, oh, I'll use these for embossing on them, because I've seen people emboss on. This really is heavy cardstock. That's nice. Okay. I feel like I should cut it. Because I really don't. I'm just going to cut this cardstock down. This is very nice heavy cardstock. It's really good. It would probably be great for doing. Let me see if I can actually do an actual measurement. I'm going to do, what is the artist trading card? 2x3? I'm going to do artist trading card size. 2, 2.5. 2 sounds good. 2 is very small, but that's okay. We'll do 2. That's really small. Okay. I guess I'm used to doing like a 3x4. It's very small. Maybe it's a little bigger. I don't know. This is just for play. So, you know. Okay. So I'm going to take a couple of artist trading cards. Use those as my base, and then we're just going to play with some. So when I was doing my for my color challenge last month, I did these artist trading cards, although they're much smaller or bigger size. They're actually more like, I guess you would say, baseball card size. And I did these palettes or swatches of all of my different color items, all my yellows that I was doing last month. I haven't done it with purple yet, but they fit perfectly. And I didn't even mean to make them this size. They just accidentally became this size, and they worked perfectly. The artist trading cards, the ones that we're doing for my, the swap that I was in a group I'm in, I think it was 2x3. It might have been 2.5 by 3.5, which would have made it a little bit better. But I like that little size, and then it's great for doing some practice. So this will be good for practicing to see what it looks like. I haven't used the Salvaged Patina. I have used the, I used a little bit of the Rustic Wilderness and a little bit of the Kitsch Flamingo on a few projects. Because when I do embossing, I don't know how to do nice embossing. I only know how to do random embossing. So I'll just kind of take my embossing. This is a Ranger Emboss It ink. It's gray. And I will just... This will just make it go everywhere, right? It'll go all over the page, all over the thing. Or I'll just take my pen. And this is a Ranger Letter It medium pen, which, and it's going to dry. So let me just sprinkle that on there. I don't want it to dry out. Sprinkle. Ooh, it's a pretty color. Okay. I did not know I was going to be doing embossing today, but that is okay. Okay, and then I'll just take like my medium. You can take your medium pen. It's kind of just there's actually a Wow embossing pen. There's a Nuvo has an embossing pen. I think the nice part about the embossing pen is you can do really small things, like on a card. Like on this card, I actually did some embossing pen on their nose and their ears, and I did Kitsch Flamingo in those little spots. So you can't really tell. And on here on the on their pastry and on his tail. So anything that was pink I did with the embossing pen, and I just embossed that with the Kitsch Flamingo embossing glaze. So we'll just do some fun circles. See, it didn't even really attach very much. Let's see if it does any more. That ink pad might be kind of old, actually. Oh, I didn't do the thing with the bouncy pouncy thing, which you're supposed to do when you do embossing. But, you know, I forget to do that because I'm not a card person most of the time. Okay, so that's kind of an idea of where that glaze will end up. And for some reason, it didn't really stick. I guess I didn't stick it enough. That's okay. We'll redo it. We'll see what happens. I always wonder if it'll just melt, if it's like anywhere on the page. But, and then what you really should do is you should really actually have 2 of these, because there's almost always overspill. And the idea behind doing it as like this is that you can, and I don't take credit for this. I absolutely saw somebody do this. Jennifer McGuire or some other Kate Warner, Kay Warner, some other card making person, card making guru. Okay. You know, I'm not that worried about it. Put the lid back on. Thank you for joining us if you're just joining me. Okay. Hopefully my little friend over here, my cat's not going to jump up. If he jumps up in the middle of me trying to do this, it's going to be very interesting. All right. Now I've got my craft heat tool. And, you know, it's not really the best tool for, probably not the best tool for embossing. It's better for drying, but it works okay. Whoops, I smeared that. That's okay. Because it's not like a super focused heat tool. I also have, these tweezers are helpful. That paper gets very hot. The most exciting thing is to watch paint dry, isn't it? Or watch embossing glaze take effect. You guys have any suggestions for embossing? Yeah, it's heating. See, it's getting kind of, it's turning kind of a glaze color. It's hard to tell. It's so hard to tell on camera, but it really is. Yeah, so if there's a way to do messy embossing, that's me. Improv embossing. Intuitive embossing glaze. Okay. Can you get an idea of the yeah, there. It has a little bit of a shine to it. It's pretty. That could make some really interesting make some nice effects. Let's see what this does. Oh, hi, Mr. Whiskers. Wants to join us. And, you know, it's probably better, like, if you were going to do a card, to maybe do the embossing last instead of trying to do it first. But, I'm just playing. I probably need to re-ink my embossing pad. So it kind of has a few little smudges there of that patina. That's a really neat color. I like that a lot. All right. So that's embossing glaze with the pen and just randomly slopping it onto the onto the card. I'm gonna put these away. And let's play with some, what else can we do to it? You want to throw some paint at it? This is the, I figure all of this will just be fodder for future cards or backgrounds or something. Maybe even some, some artist trading card, actual cards. You shake it up real good and then you realize that it has a protective thing on it. Go. Now, the distress paint is a little different. All the distress products are. It says it is, it's a water-based paint, but it's acrylic. So, but once it dries, it's waterproof. Yay! But see, it has, when it dries, it's a little more chalky. Oh, you know what? Let me get my thing out. Like if you're looking for a matte, oh, there, I knew it. I knew it. If you're looking for a matte sort of paint, I would say this is a good option. I haven't really seen a lot of people use the acrylic distress paint. I sell a lot of it, but I haven't seen very many people actually use it. And I haven't really dug into YouTube to try to find what people are doing with it. But, you know, what you can do with it is you can use a stencil. As you could with any paint. And so we'll try that. Maybe you're just going to make a background for a card. And maybe it's going to be kind of messy because that's how I roll. But that's okay. But see how it has sort of this color, has sort of a blue and a green at the same time. I think that's where the patina part comes into it. I think of it as like a verdigris, kind of rusty. You could add some copper. I think adding some copper where it looks kind of like rusted copper elements would be pretty neat. My stencil is being not cooperative, and that's probably because I don't clean it very well. So don't hold it against the color that this is very sloppy, but I can easily cover that up with a stamped image or something else. But so you can kind of see there that, can you see the difference in the green and the blue? There's definitely a gradient in there, and that's all from the same paint. It's just how it's made that when it dries, it turns a little more green. I think that's really cool. Okay, so there's some paint. What if we did a little bit of spray as well? I totally have embossing powder on here. I don't know how that happened. Anybody know how that happened? Should we do oxide or should we do stain next? And maybe we shouldn't use this stencil. This is a very big circle stencil, but it would be fun. This is a Dina Wakley. Okay. You don't really need to spray that. Oh, you can't see because I'm off the camera. Okay, here, that's better. Let's see what we get with this. Be prepared, it's going to go everywhere. It's a very wide stencil. Might not get a lot of it, much of anything. Might have better luck on the under paper. That looks kind of neat. I mean, it's sloppy, but it's, you know, it's me. That's definitely an Anna. I'm okay with that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take a piece of paper, but I don't have any paper with me right now. Okay, how do I not have paper? I don't have my mop-up journal handy, so I'm just going to mop up something with this. This is a piece of Vicky Boutine junk journal watercolor paper. So, kind of fun for a background. I could use this in a page, or I can definitely... sorry, I keep going off the camera. My camera is adjusted differently today. So I can definitely do that. That's just from the stencil. Okay, cool. What about if we did... All right, let me try a different stencil. And let me try, where's my cutter? I'm gonna do 2.5 by 3.5. 2.5, 2 by 3 seems so small. Dear Ranger, please make some already cut artist trading cards in your heavy stock. I like this heavy stock. It's nice paper. All right, let's try some oxide. Of course, you can watch Tim Holtz's demo on all of this. He's very good at demoing, and he knows what to expect when he plays with it. So that's good. And he has that on, I'm pretty sure it's on his Facebook or on YouTube or something. And the hard part about the spray is that it goes through. If you were doing more of a, I think the paint's the best option for that. Let's see here. I usually have paper. Okay, whoops. Just cleaning off my stencil now. Isn't this so fun? Just seeing what we get. That's actually not even wet paint. I thought it was. Could even carefully, because that's so wet. Try putting that on there. Probably smeared it. It smeared it. That's okay. So, kind of fun, kind of interesting, kind of smeary, but that's okay. We'll just pretend like we wanted to do that. It kind of gets to see some of that green that's in there. You know, the oxide, that's, what are you going to get? I don't know. Let's spray it with some water. Let's see what happens when you spray it with water, because that's what, you know, oxide reacts to the water, right? Probably sprayed too much. Sometimes I like to just try a new paper and throw a lot of stuff at it and see what the paper does. Just to see how the paper reacts. Because it's heavy stock, but I don't really think it's meant to be like watercolor. But see, that's neat because it's got some greens and some blues in there. So I like it. Okay. Okay, so we did some embossing. We did some spraying with Distress Spray Stain. We did acrylic paint through the stencil, which was this one. I actually really like that one. We did oxide spray through the stencil. And embossing glaze. Did I say that already? I did. So I think that's almost everything other than the ink itself, which, you know, you can use the ink for pretty much the same kind of application. I like to use the Distress ink refill as a watercolor. Bye. So that's pretty much everything I've got. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. I'm sure I can make something even more exciting later, or these will turn into something fun on another day. So thanks so much for watching, and I'm going to sign off now. So check me out on YouTube. You can see all the Instagram and Facebook lives that I've saved over there, and or go to Facebook and watch me on Friday at around 9 o'clock. And hope to see you again next Tuesday, and we'll do something else fun. So bye.